Yeah, morning everyone. Yeah, I think I did a video a little while ago, about 3, 4 months ago, about uh, time in Wormwood Scrubs there in Duquesne Road in West London, Shepherd's Bush. Now, I was just looking at my PNC, the Police National Computer records on my ACRO. That's basically what an ACRO is. It's all your previous arrests, swabs, all that sort of stuff. Your ACRO is everything the police have on you, sort of thing, in the past, or what, if you got a CRO, a criminal records check when you're in the street, they consult the PNC, a PNC check, if it's still called that, and then they go through all your previous, say, what you're known for, sort of offences you've done, the risks, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I was looking on that because I have a copy of mine, and I'm just letting people know that it's free to get a copy of that. Anything the police have got on you uh, in the past, you're entitled to a copy of that. So having a copy of that, I was just looking. I was in Wormwood Scrubs in 1990, in the summer of 1990. So actually, I would have been 20 when I went in there. I did think that you had to be 21 to go into a man's prison, but actually, I couldn't have been 21. Looking at the dates on my ACRO, I must have been 20. I don't know if that's one of the reasons I ended up in police custody from Wormwood Scrubs, but I was told at the time I ended up in police custody on a production from Wormwood Scrub. Production is when you're going to and from court from the prison, and we come back from court one time. I think it was Marlborough Street uh, or Horseferry Road, and I have got it on my sheet, but it was magistrates, and I was remanded back in custody, and the prison. It was like about 8:30 in the evening. The prison wasn't letting any more people in because they was full up and the doors were shut. So we had to go back to I had to go into police custody because that was the only place there was to go. And then you got double time for police custody. So if you got a year sentence, you'd only have to do 6 months because in the prison at that time it was 2/3. The half sentence thing in the prison didn't come in till the 90s, and it became 4 years and under. So if you got anything from 4 years sentence and under, you could get out at halfway, and anything over 4 years, you'd have to do 2/3 before you was eligible to get out. You know. So yeah, what I was going to talk about is, like I say, in 1990, I've been using heroin for 5 years intravenously, but I'd say from 1988 onwards, when I was 17, 18, I'd been sort of using it every day, intravenously, 99% of the time. So, and I was doing other stuff as well, like benzodiazepine tablets, like Valium and barbiturates, and a lot of amphetamines as well. Uh, I had tried crack, but I wasn't bang on the crack until about 91. I started using crack heavily, 92 even. But yeah, so basically, yeah, I was going into Wormwood Scrubs prison. It would have been my first time in a man's prison. I had been in prison before. I'd been in Ashford Remand Centre, youth custody. I've been in Chelmsford as a YOI, young offender. I've been in Feltham, young offenders institution. So I had an idea what it was going to be like. So I remember that time going through reception. It was quite cosmopolitan. In fact, there was people from all different countries going through reception that had been remanded from the West London courts, that deal with Heathrow Airport. So there was Colombian guys in there, in their cowboy boots, guys from Afghanistan that had been caught smuggling heroin, So it's quite cosmopolitan. So basically, yeah, I'd gone through reception and I ended up on B wing, which was the remand wing. Then it was a big long wing, that is B wing. I think C wing was just a bit longer. And C wing was the longest wing in Europe at the time. And then, you know, it was slop outs in your cell. You'd got a plastic piss bucket to wee in, you know, and you wasn't really supposed to shit in that, but I'll go into that in a bit. And like I say, showering and that, there wasn't anything on the landing. You had a big, like, bathhouse it was. You'd go there once a week. If you were lucky, you get a shower bath there, you know. Like I say, if you was lucky, if there was enough time to do that. And that was like once a week. And food was bloody terrible, really. It was pretty bad, you know. And like I say, I was in a double with a guy called Anthony McCoy, Anthony. His nickname wasn't Tony, it was just Anthony. And he was a nice guy. He knew someone I knew on the out, a friend of mine who's sadly dead, Reese, R.I.P. Reese. I did do a video on my friend Reese, but I had to taken it down due to some trolls and stalker type people, so I took that down. But I will do another one because I know it's a birthday, or it would have been soon. But apart from that, yeah, like I say, I had a heavy heroin habit out on the street, you know, so I was knowing that I was going to have physical withdrawal because I didn't have any of my own gear on me at the time, and the offences I was committing at the time were like thefts and fraud, you know, kiting, checkbook and cards and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I've been nicked for. So yeah, on the wing, you know, you get to see a doctor and that, and I explained to them, you know, I've been using heroin because they ask you these questions. And they said, all right, we'll sort you out medication for that. You know, and this is 1990. And I knew anyway, because I knew a lot of people had been in there already, there wasn't any methadone, not in the scrubs, in 1990 for withdrawal or Subutex. So basically, if you was withdrawing, if you didn't have any of your own gear that you bought in or got brought up on a visit, or you could get off someone else, you was going to be in trouble like I was. You know, I was really sick. So basically, you know, in the morning when you go down the landing to the medical hatch to get your medicine, the medical screw, the medical officer would give you liquid. And I was getting two medications. One was an antidepressant, which was a yellow liquid in a little, you know, them little plastic cups, pill cups or little shot cups. Yeah, amitriptyline. I don't know what the dose was. I can't remember. And that was a yellow liquid. The reason it was in liquid, so you couldn't, you know, give it to other cons and they'd watch you drink it. And they was giving me this other liquid, which was a pink liquid called, but it was almost like an electric see-through pink, not a normal pink colour, you know, like a electric pink. And that was the Thorazine liquid. Mellaril was the brand name, and I think this stuff's been banned because it's pretty bad news. And you know, and so I was on this, and you know, I felt bad enough as it is from the withdrawal, but this seemed to make it even worse, the mixture of these two drugs. Well, I think it was mainly the Mellaril, but that amitriptyline's not so good when you're withdrawing either. And you know, all my mouth was stuck together and gammy, like my tongue was like Axminster carpet mouth, you know. Oh, it's horrible. I wasn't sleeping, obviously, but you know, when you're in heroin withdrawal, your body's withdrawing and you're sort of moving about all the time, tossing and turning. But you know, that Mellaril drug made everything worse because I couldn't move around at all and move all my hurting and aching muscles because you know, it's a heavy tranquilizer and it's meant to be like a chemical straitjacket to stop you moving about and stuff like that. So like I say, I was getting that orally. I wasn't injected with it because I don't think I could have kicked off. I was that much of a zombie. I remember walking around the exercise yard there, and I was shuffling around, and I just felt like a loony. You know, where I hadn't slept for a couple of weeks, and it was just really bad. And at night and in the daytime as well, because it was literally 23-hour bang up for me then, and most of the wing was all banged up unless you was a cleaner or you had your jobs. But basically it was a remand wing then, so I was banged up all the time with my cellmate. And at night, you know, as you know, with heroin withdrawal you get a really bad stomach, and you sort of have the runs. Basically you need to sort of like go for a macca like go for a pony every few minutes or every few seconds. Either you're on the toilet with the cramps, literally pooing yourself. And basically what I had to do, you know, there is no toilet, there's no little separate cubicle for your toilet in those cells. I had to basically just squat on the floor, do it on a newspaper, the pony, do the pony and trap on a newspaper. So I'm crapping on a newspaper, then I'm folding it all up, and I was making what is called a shit parcel. Not to throw at anyone else, obviously. I'd just wrap it up in the old newspaper and throw it out the window. And when you look out the window of the cell to the bottom, outside the wing, there was hundreds and hundreds of these things, you know, because until you're into the routine, you know, you eat at the same time every day, so you're going to shit at the same time every day. And that would be in the morning, you know, when you do your slop outs, you know, when you're emptying your piss pot out, you know, and that is some bad stink, that is, in those days, you know. And like I say, for the first couple of weeks, I was having to do that in the night, in the daytime, because like I say, I was in withdrawal. But it eased off after about 2 weeks, and then I got back to going every day when we got unlocked in the morning, you know. So like I say, yeah, it was a pretty bad experience. And after about 2 weeks, I came off that medication. I said, I don't want that anymore, you know. And like I say, I was on a production to court after a few weeks, and I went to court, and like I just said earlier, I was sent to police custody because Wormwood Scrubs was full. So yeah, pretty nasty experience. And like I say, I was only a 20-year-old boy. I wasn't that mature physically for my age. So yeah, but it was an eye opener, and it gave me a glimpse of what was to come in my life, because shortly after that I ended up in Belmarsh again. Belmarsh for the first time in 1991, I think it was, but I'd have to check. But yeah, so I ended up there. But like I say, and when I went to Belmarsh the first time, methadone there for detox still wasn't brought in. I don't remember methadone being brought in till the earliest 93, 94 in Brixton. It didn't come to the prisons I was in till maybe 95, 96 even. But yeah, so like I say, I ended up in police custody, and I think I've done a video of that in. If you look at all my previous videos, my back catalogue, you'll see I might have done a video about that. So yeah, that's it, guys. Just a quick one because I haven't done anything recently. And yeah, I was watching the Zhang Joe Joyce fight. You know, I mean, to me it looked like Joe Joyce had some sort of back injury, but as I haven't really watched him a lot, that's mainly I think that might be his style, but I'm not sure. To me, he just looked like really upright and rigid, you know, or maybe he wasn't on his best form. I don't know. You know, I did want him to win, but we'll see what happens there. And yeah, that's it really. Just want a quick shout out to Matt Legg, say hello and happy birthday for tomorrow, mate. And yeah, and that's it really, guys. Just a quick hello, and hope you're all well. Thanks a lot, guys.